welcome into Vols Society Live on this Wednesday night. My name is David Morrison. I am the Vols Society analyst right here on the Vols Society Network. Don't forget, Facebook.com/UT Vols Society is your one-stop place for all Tennessee athletics. Give us a follow right now, 5,000 and counting. Also, welcome to our viewers watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Our founder, Brad, is in the chat room right now. He says a big gold Vols, and it definitely was a big gold Vols weekend for the good and maybe not so good. We'll dive into that. Let's run down the lineup tonight. Nico Iamaleava is coming to the University of Tennessee in the year 2023. The biggest recruit for Josh Heupel in his second year. There was worry, can Josh Heupel recruit? Well, he answered in a big way. We'll talk all about Nico to start off the show. We'll also dive into Tennessee being put out in the round of 32 to Michigan. We'll kind of talk about that game and where does Tennessee basketball go in the future with Rick Barnes for the 2022-2023 season. Lady Vols in the Sweet 16 picked up a huge win over Belmont. We'll talk about their game against Louisville on Saturday. And then the Tennessee baseball team had a huge weekend series sweep over South Carolina. We'll quickly recap that series. Plus, Tennessee baseball getting ready to take on their second #1 team in the nation this year as they start a weekend series down in Oxford against the Ole Miss Rebels. We'll quickly talk about that game. I want to go ahead and kind of, unfortunately, start on a somber note. For those who don't know, Brad and I and David Dees, we all went to the same high school together, Mittman County High School in Athens, Tennessee. And tragically, last night, one of our former teachers, Coach Tim McPhail, passed away last night, lost his battle with cancer, had a major impact in the community. He was the girls basketball coach at Mittman County High School. Really, after when Brad and I graduated, he coached football and just was beloved in the community in Athens. And unfortunately, lost his battle last night. So we want to dedicate tonight's Vols Society Live episode to Coach McPhail and his family. So, like I said, thank you, Coach McPhail, for your years of education and coaching with young people, and you will be sorely missed. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Nico Iamaleava. And Brad says, yeah, huge recruit and prayers to the McPhail family. Nico, so I mentioned this last week on Vols Society Live, although last week's episode sounded like I was recording at the bottom of Watts Bar Lake, so hopefully tonight sounds good. Anyways, I talked about Nico's recruiting visit the weekend when Tennessee played Arkansas. And we saw the video when Nico was at the basketball game and the crowd chanting, "We want Nico, we want Nico." And his mom was overcome with emotion and just was really touched by it. And there was a rumor last Friday that Nico might be committing to the University of Tennessee. But Austin Price, who's one of the Vol insiders, kind of shot down those rumors and said if he's going to commit, it's going to be right before the Sweet 16. And lo and behold, he did. Monday, he announced in a 3.5-minute video on his Instagram page and then all over his social media page, basically announced he is coming to the University of Tennessee. So really good video, kind of shows the personality of Nico growing up in Long Beach, California. Matter of fact, he is actually playing his senior year in high school at Long Beach Poly High School. He played at another school in Southern California. And like I said, he's playing his senior year at Long Beach Poly. I mean, what can you say about this? This is arguably one of the greatest recruits in Tennessee football history because of where we have been and just kind of the fall of Tennessee football coming already getting a big-time 5-star quarterback. Brad says, talk about current leader of our Vols Society, bracket challenge. My best guess is currently in first place. I'm in second. Will my best guess win our challenge in the official Tennessee hat? Yeah, I'll talk. We'll talk about that in a moment. Thank you, Brad, for bringing that up. But yeah, looking at Nico, like I said, this is a huge. Hello to my grandparents. This is a huge recruit for Tennessee, no doubt about it. You got in 2023, you have not only Nico, but you have Arch Manning, which looks like Arch is probably either going to go to Alabama or Texas. And then you have the other quarterback that his name just escaped my brain that's going to USC. And like I said, Tennessee has really went all in getting Nico. And we've seen over the years, Tennessee has thrown scholarships after scholarships at 4 or 5 star quarterbacks, and we're just wishing, hoping, and praying, oh, it'd be kind of cool if he comes to Tennessee. And, then they start doing the list, and then we don't even make the top 5, and we're like, oh, shucks, I guess we'll look at this 3-star kid from Virginia that may be going to East Carolina. Brad's saying, mark my words, Tennessee football is going to be dominant again. And it starts with the quarterback position. You saw what Hendon Hooker has done under Josh Heupel's offense, putting over 3,400 yards total offense last year, 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And now we're going to really see Josh Heupel go out and recruit these guys and come in. And I'm excited to see. And like I said, Hendon Hooker's our guy next year. Like I said, Nico right now is still a junior. He's going to be a senior. I'm 100% guarantee one of his high school games will be on ESPN next year, particularly that first couple of weeks when college football is kind of getting ready. They always show them high school games. I'm sure one of those will be profiled. Brad says the leader at quarterback is what we need. Absolutely. So, like I said, this is going to be a big-time quarterback coming in Tennessee. And then, like I said, once Hendon graduates in 2022, you go in the 2023 season, and you're going to have Nico and Taven Jackson. Now, Taven Jackson, we hyped up last year coming in, and still he could end up winning the job. But, you look at quarterback battles. You have a 5-star in Nico. You're going to have Taven Jackson. And, you got Navy Schuler for 2023 and whoever else may come. If Tennessee wants to win the SEC championship, it starts with the quarterback, and you got to have a quarterback that's going to feel confident in Josh Heupel's system, and Josh Heupel has to feel confident with who's at quarterback. Brad says Nico, already recruit some top talent receivers come to Tennessee. Yeah. April the 9th, Nico is coming back to Tennessee for the orange and white game that apparently nobody's going to see. And he's actually bringing in some 5-star wide receivers. I know Kyler Casper is one of them. He was a Oregon crystal ball projection, which Nico was also. So, he could, like I said, he's coming into Tennessee. There's a kid that's going to be trying to commit to Ohio State that's coming in. So Nico's almost becoming kind of our unofficial recruiting coordinator. And, I'm sure he's going to show these top talent, hey, here's what Knoxville has. Look at Neyland Stadium, even though it's being renovated right now, but eventually it's going to look great. But here's Neyland Stadium. Look at the traditions. Look at what Josh Heupel's doing. I know people don't like the dark uniforms, but kids like that. When Nico was in his last visit and he had the picture with the uniform, he chose the dark mode uniform and the picture of him on top of the Mercedes SUV with Josh Heupel and the coaching staff. I mean, the kid knows what Tennessee football is all about, and just the Southern hospitality. And like I said, I really love just the way he presents himself. He's got a swagger. The kids say drip, apparently. He's got that drip to him, kind of a Joe Burrow. And I know fashion and looks don't win you football games, but I mean, this kid looks like a superstar. And Brad says he's all in, and I agree. And I'm excited to see what he can bring to the University of Tennessee. Like I said, he's 6'5", 195 pounds. obviously he's going to put on weight and go through the conditioning programs. And like I said, what happens if now these 5-star wide receivers starts flipping to Tennessee? I mean, you got a really rock solid offense that's going to put up a lot of points if everything clicks together. Like I said, we still got to wait a whole year. We're excited about 2022 with Hendon Hooker and Cedric Tillman, and then all these young wide receivers that's coming in the mix. And then 2023, when Nico comes into town and Taven Jackson, you're going to have that QB battle that's going to be discussed. I give you a glimpse into the future. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see that. As far as Nico goes, he becomes the 5th commit for the 2023 class. Tennessee is now in the top 10, according to 24/7 Sports, where we go all in. Brad says, see 7 people watching live. Come on, folks. Let's hear your questions or comments. Yeah. Like I said, please comment on here, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, any questions, and we'll try our best to answer. Like I said, he's the 5th commit for Tennessee with Ethan Davis, Bussell, Luttrell, Spillman. And then if you want to look at all-time commits at Tennessee, according to 24/7 Sports, so whether you want to, take them seriously or take them with a grain of salt, Nico right now, according to 24/7 Sports, is the 5th best commit according to their metrics. Now, they've only been doing these 5-star ratings since 2002. So if you're looking at the list and wondering where Peyton Manning's at, he's not on here. It only goes back to 2002. But he is right behind the likes of Gerald Riggs Jr., Khalil McKenzie, Eric Berry. They put Bryce Brown at number 1, even though Brown was only in town for 1 season. But it is what it is. He was still kind of a big deal back in the day. So there's a lot of hype and a lot of anticipation for this young quarterback, and we shall see what happens. But this was a huge pickup for Josh Heupel, and especially with spring practice started yesterday. Like I said, the expectations for the next couple of years is going to be really big. All right, so that's a look at Nico. Now let's switch over to Tennessee basketball. Tennessee basketball played in the second round of the NCAA tournament, falling to Michigan 76-68. Kevin says, everything seems to be looking up for Tennessee when we got the new AD. Absolutely, Kevin. I totally agree. The Danny White effect is real, and it is making huge impacts. I mean, since Danny White's been on the job, 14, 15 months, he's won I think I counted 5 SEC championships, whether it's regular season tournaments or division wins. It's just amazing what he has done. And all the athletic programs, to me, are kind of clicking at the same time. As a matter of fact, I saw today that Danny White extended the contract for our girls soccer coach, which they won the SEC regular season and tournament soccer championships. And then our volleyball coach, they gave an extension to today. Excuse me. So like I said, the Danny White effect is real, and I'm excited he's our AD. All right, so Tennessee basketball, we mentioned, lost to Michigan 76-68. It was a bit of a struggle for the most part watching the game. I mean, Tennessee was, for the most part, hanging in there, but just, Tennessee kind of reared his ugly head again. Vols Society, thank you, Kevin, for being a loyal fan to us. He comments on a lot of our stuff, so thank you, Kevin. But as far as Tennessee goes, Kennedy Chandler led the way with 19 points in the game. And, like I said, he really put his heart out, and we saw the emotion at the end with Kennedy Chandler, and kudos to Juwan Howard for embracing him at the end. And, like I said, keep his chin high, and we shall see what's going to happen with Kennedy Chandler. Does he go to the NBA draft? Does he come back? Personally, I think he's going to the NBA. So whether or not he comes back or not, I think we're pretty set at point guard with Zakir Ziegler, and the rest of the team for next year, I'm not necessarily too worried about. Josiah Jordan-James had a pretty good game, 13 points off of 37 minutes. Vescovy really struggled. He was 1 for 5 from three-point land. Matter of fact, Josiah Jordan-James is 0 for 6. Paul Jones says, I wish you had your own live podcast so I could listen to this while I work out. Yeah. And we'll see what we can do here with maybe a podcast. Brad says, very proud of our boys' season this year. It was fun to watch. And absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a season we're going to remember for a long time. Won our first SEC tournament for the first time since 1979. Like I said, everybody here on the Vols Society staff wasn't even born when the last time we won. And Brett says, Paul, we may actually can do that. We got some stuff working in the background. We'll reveal ASAP. But yeah, as far as next year goes, this team's still going to be good. I think Josiah Jordan-James definitely can be an SEC Player of the Year contender if he continues to elevate his game. You got Vescovi coming back, coming off a first-team All-SEC performance. Pulisic should be back. Hunley Hatfield should be back. I can't wait to see Adu getting a little bit more minutes. Mishak. Like I said, you lose Fulkerson. Victor Bailey Jr. is kind of up in the air. I've heard he may come back for his super senior year. Then I also heard he may transfer. So who knows at this point? If he comes back, great. If not, wish him well in his future endeavors. But like I said, I think my concern is, and of course a lot of Tennessee basketball fans' concern is what's the next level as far as elevating Tennessee to that championship level, at least getting to a Sweet 16. Alan Jennings, thank you for joining us. He says, I enjoyed listening to this. I'm a Mint County class of 88. That's great. Like I said, we're all 2004. So we're a few years after, but yeah, great to see a fellow McMinn alum in the chat tonight. But yeah, what is Tennessee going to do to take that next step? As far as not only get to a Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, but can Rick Barnes get to that Final Four? It all just depends on how this team can do down the road. Like I said, the talent is there. You get another 5-star player in B.J. Edwards coming in next year, who's currently at Knox Catholic High School. What's it going to take next year? And we're still going to have to figure out who's going to the NBA, who's going to try out for the combine, and then come back. So it won't, it's going to be a few months before we really flush out the rosters. Although some of these new coaches that's coming into the SEC, I'm not too. If I'm their fans, other fans, I'm probably not too crazy about. Maybe good on our end. I kind of like the LSU hire with the Murray State coach, but the rest of them's kind of, we'll wait and see. But I'm grateful for us having Rick Barnes. Like I said, Rick Barnes, in his tenure, has won an SEC regular season championship, or at least a co-regular season championship. Like I said, we won the SEC tournament for the first time since '79 when Bert Bertelkamp and Kevin Nash were on that team. It was just an interesting team. Tyler says Tennessee needs a solid post-game to match a comment our guard play. Yes, absolutely. And we shall see what's going to happen, who's going to match up. And I noticed even like Hunter Dixon, who went off in that game, and he's going to be playing at the next level, no doubt. I did not like him matching up with Folke. Like I said, Folke is not really an enforcer player. I thought when we had Euros and Huntley Hatfield on Dickerson, we did a pretty good job of containing him. It's just Folke's just not a great matchup with him. And we're big fans of John Fulkerson on here. I met Folke just a month and a half ago. But I just thought I did not like that matchup with Hunter Dixon and John Fulkerson, and I think that was a big part. Of course, going 2 for 18 from downtown, obviously not going to win you games, and it seems like that was kind of the trend throughout the years. Like Tennessee would get hot from three-point land, and then at times they were just ice cold and couldn't hit nothing. And like I said, just it's going to be something to be interesting to watch next year. Like I said, I think this team's still going to be really good. I'm sure they'll be a contender and be ranked. It's just going to see what's that next level. Is this team ready to take it? And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be quite interesting to see. I think they can. It's just, kind of a wait and see. All right. Switching out from the men. Brad says the season was awesome, period, and he totally agreed on the comments. Lady Vols. Lady Vols picked up a huge win, a close win over Belmont. Monday night, I think it was like 70-67 was the final score. Now Tennessee will move on to the Sweet 16 in Wichita to take on Louisville. Like I said, it was a back and forth game, and like I said, my concern was for most of the part was who was going to take that next step up, or excuse me, who's going to elevate their game as far as when Jordan Horson's went out, and it's been kind of iffy. Alexis Dye had a great game, 20 points for her. Tamara Key became the Lady Vols all-time shot blocker. Congratulations to her. And then Sarah Puckett, what a story in that one. Kevin says that three-pointer we made was ice coach. Yeah, Sarah Puckett got injured late in the game and went down, and you can obviously tell she was crying. And Coach Harper and the training staff went over there to check on her. And obviously wasn't as serious as we thought it was going to be. And then she came out there and was the hero. And I'm happy for her. I cannot wait to see what Sarah Puckett does for the next 2-3 years. It's, under Kelly Harper's style of play. It seems like just as far as who's taking that next step, it seems like Sarah Puckett really wants to be that go-to player. I mean, Ray Burrell at times has been it. Alexis Dye has been, and Jordan Horson was till she got injured. Key is almost just more of an enforcer underneath the center, although she'll score from time to time. But I can't wait to see her, and I really am a huge fan of her. I think she can be like almost a Lady Ball version of a John Fulkerson or a Santiago Vescovi, where just her play really elevates everybody else around her. So we'll shall see. Lady Vols plays Saturday afternoon at 4:00 against Louisville. That game is in Wichita, Kansas, I believe. I'm sure it's on ESPN or one of the ESPN channels. Brad's saying, are you not loving how all of our sports programs are doing big things right now? So excited. Absolutely. I mean, we've said this many times on this show, and all our social media pages. Like I said, just everything is clicking right now with Danny White and his vision of elevating all these programs. And it started, with baseball kind of at the beginning of the spring. Baseball, unreal. Yeah, we're about to dive into them in a minute. But it started back, with that baseball and that College World Series run and just the fans getting excited because kind of coming off of football where the last year of the Jeremy Pruitt era, and it was almost an all-time low. And then basketball, there was kind of some questions. We got knocked out of the first round against Oregon State, and baseball kind of was carrying that Tennessee sports flag. And then it just seems like since that College World Series, it just feels like everybody's kind of trickled off of it. We had a great football season for our standards, and basketball, men's and women's, have done very well this year. The attendance has gone up, of course, having full capacity with all of our stadiums and fields and arenas has helped out. And it seems like the fans are real. I mean, I've even just watching on TV, the crowds are even just more energized all the way around. And of course, I got to go see all of the football games last year, except for Vanderbilt. And like I said, even just the crowd involvement was just at a kind of a fever pitch. And even basketball's been fun, and just Knoxville is just getting. Like I said, Knoxville is just elevating even more, kind of not really tied with Tennessee athletics, but Thompson-Boling Arena this year, they've brought in like big time concerts, and I'm a big music fan, love all sorts of music. And, we just had Reba McEntire in town just back in January, and we're seeing, like, I'm going to the Alabama concert next month, and Elton John's going to be in town, and Paul McCartney, and all these big artists. And it just seems like just Knoxville is a buzz now, and I'm excited to see it. It's just not just a average college town. Like I said, people wants to come to Knoxville, and not only we're seeing from the entertainment world, but we're also kind of seeing it, with the recruits, with Nico coming in. and just, Kennedy Chandler. Brad says it starts with leadership. Donnie Plowman and Randy Boyd. Yeah, absolutely. Donnie Plowman is a fun follow on Instagram. I really, like I said, I didn't know too much about her. Brad, of course, is a UT alum, and so he's very familiar with Vice Chancellor Plowman, and now I've really enjoyed her too. And it's compared to where we were in the beginning of 2021, where it was almost like a Game of Thrones up there with Fulmer and everybody else. It was just it's so much better. The culture's better. It's more positivity, and like I said, Tennessee athletics is about to start peaking everywhere. Brad says Dondi is my favorite person. Goes to every game. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Very, very cool. All right, Tennessee baseball. Brad's giving love to Donnie Plowman. So Tennessee baseball had their SEC weekend opener over the weekend. Conley just hit the highlights throughout the weekend. So last Friday night, Tennessee took on South Carolina to open up a 3-game series at home at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. The Big Orange won 8-3. Chase Burns on the mound for the Big Orange went 6 2/3 innings with 2 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. Camden Sewell and Kirby Connell did very well in the bullpen and ended up giving the Vols the win. 4 Tennessee players went yard that day. Cortland Lawson, Luke Lippius, Jarrell Ortega, and Evan Russell. Drew Gilbert had an RBI single in I think the second inning in that one. And then on Kevin's saying, I'm watching NBA right now, and even Memphis is a good team this year. Yeah. The Grizz is an exciting team with Ja Morant. Like I said, he's really elevated his game too as far as superstardom. I really wish when he was at Murray State, would have drove over to Tennessee Tech, because Murray State and Tennessee Tech are in the OVC. I really wish I drove over to Cookeville and saw him play that one time, but didn't get a chance to. But it is what it is. Saturday, Tennessee baseball defeated South Carolina 5-2. Luke Lippius and Jordan Beck went yard for the Big Orange. Jarrell Ortega had a RBI single in the first inning, and then in the 5th inning with an RBI double. And then Blake Burke with an RBI triple also in the 5th inning, which, funny to think we had an RBI triple and an RBI double. Only got 2 runs out of that, but hey, it's a win. Chase Dolander went 5 innings pitched with 3 hits, 7 Ks, 1 walk. And then in the Sunday matinee game, Tennessee shut out South Carolina 10-0. Christian Moore with a home run. Evan Russell with 2 home runs that day. Trey Lipscomb went yard. Drew Gilbert with a RBI double in the 3rd inning, and then Jordan Beck added an RBI double in the 7th. Drew Beam on the mound went 7 2/3 inning with 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. So definitely our infield helped us out big time in that game. And I mentioned Burns, Dolander, and Drew Beam. And this is a really good weekend rotation that Tennessee's got. And that's with missing their All-American pitcher, Blake Tidwell. He's still injured right now from even before the season. And according to Tony Vitello, he's not going to rush Tidwell into this pitching rotation until he feels confident to. And that's not a punishment on Tidwell, but why would you want to bring him in right now when Chase Burns, Chase Dolander, and Drew Beam are combined 11-0 on the year? And they've been pitching these weekend series. I know we've only played the teams like Iona and Rhode Island, but beating South Carolina is a nice weekend series win. And, of course, going down to Houston, end up losing to Texas, but put up a valiant fight and then end up defeating Oklahoma and Baylor down there. And Brad says, baseball team just might win it all this year. Incredible talent. Absolutely. Like I said, a lot of the College World Series guys are back. Plus, we're seeing the emergence of a Christian Moore, a Trey Lipscomb, and then the pitching staff has been well. Alice says, do you know any injuries for the 2 pitchers that are hurt, and how do we compare pitcher-wise for this weekend? I know Tidwell's still out. I hadn't read on the other one. Meant to do that before I went on the air. But like I said, with Burns and Dolander, I feel very confident with those three guys going into any series. Like I said, they're 11-0 combined. They haven't really been troubled too much. They go out there and command it very well. The bullpen is very nice with Camden Sewell and Kirby Connell and plenty of others. It's just amazing to kind of see what Tony Vitello has done. And one thing I love what Tony V brings is whoever's playing the best, he's going to play. It's, one of my knocks on Coach Barnes is sometimes he relies too much on the veterans, even while they're messing up because, well, they got experience. Coach V's like, hey, if you're playing well, you're going to play. If not, we're going to find someone else. And I do like that about him. And that's not a bash on Coach Barnes. But like I said, Tony V gets it. And like I said, this weekend is a huge weekend series down at Swayze Field in Oxford, Mississippi. One of the big college baseball weekend series. You got number 7 Tennessee taking on, or number 5, depends on which poll you read, taking on the number 1 team in the nation, the Ole Miss Rebels. This is a big weekend series. Saturday night's game at 8 o'clock will be broadcast live on the SEC network. Brad says Tony V's a rare coach. We are lucky to have him. Absolutely. I'm very happy to have Tony V, and just the way his personality rubs off on the players, and they play hard for him. But yeah, Tennessee and Ole Miss Saturday night, 8 o'clock on the SEC network. Can't wait for that game. Friday night's game is at 7:30. That's on the SEC Network Plus, which is part of the ESPN Plus app type of thing. And then Sunday matinee games at 2:30, same channel. Alan says, I think so also. Can't wait for those to get healthy. Could be an awesome year. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, unfortunately now college basketball in the rear view for the men, Lady Vols are still in the tournament. Now we're shifting over to college baseball, and the SEC conference play got underway last weekend. Like I said, kind of got overshadowed because of March Madness, but Arkansas is the only team that's still in the SEC race. This is going to be like I said, baseball is probably going to take center stage, and SEC baseball is like SEC football. It's loaded, maybe even more loaded than football. If it's hard to believe. You have Ole Miss, Mississippi State, who won it all last year. Tennessee's in the mix. Georgia's up and coming. Matter of fact, I will be at the Tennessee-Georgia baseball game on May the 14th, the Saturday game. Can't wait to do that. So we'll bring some Ball Society coverage to that. You have, like I said, Brad said maybe we'll do some contests this year for free baseball tickets. Stay tuned. Yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. Arkansas is still a good team. It's just Vanderbilt, is pretty much our biggest threat in the East. But like I said, this is going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, if you've never really watched SEC baseball or college baseball, it is a lot of fun to watch. Matter of fact, it goes a lot faster than a Major League Baseball game. I mean, it's like 2.5 hours to maybe 2 hours, 45 minutes. I mean, it's real quick, and I love the atmosphere. It's kind of that you have that, especially at Lindsey Nelson now with the Lindsey Nelson Legends, the student body, bringing that college football like atmosphere to the baseball games. And it's all over the SEC. It's not just Tennessee. But if you like that atmosphere of that college football, college basketball atmosphere, they really bring it into baseball. You see more celebrations in college baseball, flipping the bat or kind of strutting down the baseline. And of course, Tennessee has the daddy hat, and now with the fur coat, and a lot of programs kind of have their home run traditions and stuff. And it's really kind of fun to watch. Like I said, to kind of kick back and, like I said, I'm a big baseball fan. I can watch any, whether it's Major League Baseball, minor league, college. I'm all baseball. But if for somebody who may not find baseball less kind of tedious or kind of boring, well, I think college baseball can kind of get you that love of it because it has a little bit of that college football atmosphere. I know Ole Miss has a great baseball atmosphere. They have seats in the outfield. Mississippi State, they have like big barbecues and like a tailgating atmosphere in their outfield. It's really cool to see. And like I said, Tennessee baseball is trying to build something, our own little niche. Like I said, we've had a little bit of renovations. We got some more seating down the third base line. So there are going to be some major renovations at Lindsey Nelson Stadium to make it right in the level of the two Mississippi schools. South Carolina's got a great baseball facility. Arkansas's got a great baseball facility. And like I said, going back to Danny White, and I think Alan mentioned it too, it goes back to Danny White. He knows what's going on in college athletics. And, it's been a long time since we've, had an AD that knows what's going on. It's just kind of, it's Tennessee. Everybody's going to come. We're still kind of hip, and really they're not. Like I said, you can still keep the traditions, but these kids that are on your campus, these 18 to 22-year-old kids, don't have the same like and taste of somebody my age at 36, or even some of these ADs who's in their 50s and 60s. It's a different atmosphere, and if you want to bring the best talent, you're going to have to provide the intimacies, and even NIL has been kind of a big deal. And Alan says, I feel like our pitching definitely could be as good as anyone. Yes. And like I said, even not having Tidwell, and you still got Burns, Dolander, and Beam going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think Xander started he started last night against Butler, which I should have mentioned. Tennessee beat Butler 13-3. Not too much to talk about. Tennessee just kind of ended that game in the first inning, and you kind of saw some more of the bench players play in that game. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen on this weekend with Ole Miss. And like I said, you have the Lady Vols game going on at 4 o'clock against Louisville, and then right after that, hopefully we're celebrating an Elite Eight appearance, and then you can watch Tennessee baseball Saturday night at 8 o'clock against the number one team in the nation, Ole Miss. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited about where Tennessee athletics is going. Like I said, kind of a bummer with how the men's season ended, but still a great year. And now we're getting into baseball and softball and the spring sports, and then we'll be back right smack dab into college football. Like I said, spring practice is going on. It's been a lot of fun. Let me scroll back up here really quick. We talked about a contest we got going on. Okay, here we go. So for those who entered in our March Madness contest, like I said, we are obviously it's still going on, and as soon as it ends, whoever wins, I believe, Brad, you'll have to clarify this, will win the official SEC championship hat that the players wore when they won the SEC tournament. I believe that's correct. So, let's see. Probably so. Brad says, should we create a podcast? We want to hear from you all. Changing the subject. Maybe we'll create one for the football season. Who would like to see us do that? Yeah. I mean, I've got kind of the equipment right now to do it, and I'm a big podcast listener. Okay, Brad's clarified. That is correct. I have it here and ready to ship. Okay. So like I said, the hat is at Brad's house, and whoever wins the March Madness thing will win the official SEC championship hat in that. Alan says, yes, absolutely, for the podcast. Okay, we'll see what we can do. I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm a big listener of it, and of course, I'm a big fan of Josh Pate from Late Kick. I tried to copy his show for Vols Society, so he's like a big kind of inspiration, and I like listening to his shows and several others. Not necessarily tied with Vols athletics. But anyways, we'll see what we can do. Like I said, this has been a great show. Thank you for everybody tuning in. We've had a great show. We went 40 minutes tonight. This is one of the longest non-football shows we've done. Thank you to all the folks who like and love the video so far. And Brad says, perhaps me, David, and the other David will do one each week before a football game. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to brainstorm some ideas and see what we can come up with. But we'll go ahead and kind of wind it down. Like I said, thank you for everybody tuning in tonight for Vols Society Live. We'll be back next Wednesday night. We'll recap, see how the Lady Vols does. We'll still dive into Tennessee baseball coming off that weekend series with Ole Miss. They have I think a Wednesday night game against Western Carolina, and then I believe Missouri comes into town the next weekend. And Brad says, guys, we are growing, and we thank you for following us. Absolutely. Thank you to all of our followers. Don't forget, I'll pull the graphic back up again. Facebook.com/UT Vols Society is your one-stop place for all Tennessee athletic news, notes, and jokes, and everything else. Definitely so. Going to share. Great job. Thank you, Al. Please share. And everybody else watching, if you know any Tennessee fans and want, good content, like I said, we're laid back Tennessee fans. Like I said, we don't have any media ties with anybody. We're just good Tennessee fans, diehard fans, and we enjoy Tennessee athletics, football, baseball, basketball, everything. Please share this video out, share Vols Society out, and let's grow this thing, and it should be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Once again, thank you for everybody tuning in, and like I said, we'll see y'all back here next Wednesday night for Vols Society Live. Until then, this has been David Morrison. Have a great night, and go Vols.